Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about the human cause of ransomware. On our first slide, we're going to look at the human cause of ransomware and our solutions for it. On the second slide, we're going to talk about the modern day problem. Ransomware is not just about dollars and cents. It's not just about companies or government. It's about people. Emotional and physiological impact. Victims of ransomware attack frequent experiences high levels of stress, anxieties, and fear. The sudden loss of access to important data and certain and uncertain of whether it can be recovered can lead to sleepless nights, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other mental health issues. Employees in entire day attack face lost time and lost income and possibly loss of employment depending on outcome. So on the next slide, we're gonna talk about the vision. The vision is a world without ransomware. How do we get there? By baby steps on ransomware. Ideally, there will be no ransomware. Is that possible? And if so, how? We start with some cybersecurity best practice. Up to date, firmware, strong passwords, caution password habits. This practice increases some ransomware infection, but it does not prevent them.
Now, how do you measure ransomware exactly? If we go to the next slide, in our research, we found a lot of measuring can happen when you monitor network traffic. So a large number of external IP addresses we found could mean that a possible attack is happening. That means outside companies or outside malicious people are trying to access the network constantly from the outside, right? We also found a large number of outbound traffic could suggest your system's already compromised. So someone who's already gotten into your system is trying to send out data that you don't want going out, right? Another way we can measure factors of ransomware is by cybersecurity best practices, like Kaylee just mentioned. Are your passwords strong and impenetrable? Is your hardware firmware up to date? Do you have antivirus installed? These are all factors that we can use to measure ransomware, and they're all considered cybersecurity best practices. So if you look at our dynamic system, this is our causal loop dynamic model. It shows the loop and the relationships between ransomware, cybersecurity best practices, infection, and prevention. So if you could see, if you don't follow these best practices for cybersecurity, you increase the chances of infection, you increase the chances of reinfection, and decrease the chances of preventing that cybersecurity um, breach. And we also found that cybersecurity best practices, along with software, increases that prevention and slows that infection rate. It also increases the rate at recovery too, so it could help you recover from that. And if we go to the next slide, causes for ransomware, these are more specific causes that affected different systems. We found in a study by Mandiant that a lot of these breaches happen because of exploits that these people found inside the system. It could have been from the network, it could have been from their login page, it could have been from the software that they utilized. Next up, we see stolen credentials was a close second. That's as simple as stealing somebody's password, stealing somebody's token, and using it maliciously for intent, your own intent. If we go to the next slide, we found a lot of ransomware attacks happen in the health and social assistance sector. In a study conducted by Veris Community Database, they found that, 124 million cases of ransomware happen in this healthcare and social assistance sectors. And you can see that's leading by 70%, 70 plus percent above the second place, which is educational services. And you can go down the list, and these are all in the millions. And you can see just how much, how important it is to have healthcare and social assistance with the latest, cybersecurity best practices, latest software, making sure they follow all that so they prevent all that malicious attacks from happening. If we go to the next slide, we talk about some possible solutions for ransomware. We notice a lot of these cybersecurity companies and organizations, they offer hotlines to report ransomware. Either if they've already happened or are happening or about to happen, you can report it there. You can get more information and hopefully some help um, to thwart the attempts of ransomware. You could also seek additional education about cybersecurity and ransomware with these hotline numbers, and it just helps to just be more aware and be further educated to prevent these from happening. SecureWorks is one of the companies and organizations that offer it. There's a handful of you know, abbreviated companies, CISA, NICCS, SANS Institute. They all offer this kind of education hotline and awareness. So that's our one of our solutions, but our main solution is our own software, Unransomware. And I'm going to have Scott go into further detail about that software.
All right, so Unransomware is a software-based solution that will reclaim individuals' data by disabling the ransomware, and it will also track back to the source and enable the identification of the attackers. Once the attackers are found out, they can either be arrested, or if they're outside a jurisdiction, think Eastern European country, where there is no law enforcement, then they can, using the software, they can either be blocked or disabled. Most importantly, people get their data back, and that's what it's about, and the attackers lose. Our solution, Unransomware release roadmap. After we make sure that it works, we'll seek legal guidance on the ramifications of making our software open source. That's the goal, free of charge to individuals and open source. Open source software seems to overall be a better plan, better solution. With the help of the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, we'll be able to follow their guidance on making our software safely open source. We'll be able to upload and release our software on a secure server, complete with hash checking and verification of downloads. As users use Unransomware, we will gather and share further educational research. Now we're going to talk about the morals and ethics associated with open source software. We want to make it open source. We want to keep it open source. The goal is to strive for the highest ethical standards. We want to attract the right people to keep Unransomware open source. We don't believe in selling it. It will be provided to those affected by ransomware. It'll be free of charge. If people or businesses want to donate money based on what they see as a result, then we'll keep it in a trust to grow the organization. We seek to find high caliber professionals to help with the development and updating of the software. If you think about companies like, or software like LibreOffice, that's kind of the model we wanted to go for. Linux is another one. It's been open source for so long, and they just have people that want to work on it. And that's what we want to develop. We endeavor to be a Christ-centered organization and strive to live up to those ethical standards. Jonathan, I think we're back to you for the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much our main solution to ransomware. If you have any questions, you can contact us. Our headquarters phone number is there, and our email support is there. So if you have any questions, or if you want to help us, develop this software, hopefully, then yeah, give us a call, shoot us an email, and then we'll get talking.
So thank you for your time.